Linsky instead is not. His motivation is greed, and his method of murder is very.
Richard, I understand that you're an expert at the use of cyanide.
Quite a few.
What's the different ways you use cyanide?
Put it in liquid form. You could, a person could be in a bar. You bunk into them, possibly by mistake, or say you were intoxicated, spill the drink on them, and leave. Everybody just looks around, thinks you're drunk. Meanwhile, it's soaking through their clothes into their pores, and they'll die. I've been in a restaurant where we were eating, and the guy went to the bathroom, and when I was in the bathroom, we put a little boost in his food, and he was rushed to the hospital after that, and he died, and they buried him. I'm not exactly sure what they put out, what they attributed his death to, but it wasn't homicide.
Somewhere, and I don't know where, he picked up on cyanide poisoning as being a good way, a good, quick way to kill somebody. It's such a good way to kill somebody that that's the gas that's used in gas chambers. I mean, cyanide in a gas form, which is similar to cyanide in a being eaten form, kills very quickly. It kills faster than arsenic, faster than strychnine, and it's hard to detect if it isn't specifically looked for.
He murdered, sometimes months apart, years apart. He used different methods. He would go so far as to plan in his crimes the actual deceit of law enforcement. By that I mean he would on occasion murder someone, cut their body, wrap them in layer after layer of plastic bags and material, and then deposit the body many miles from the murder scene.
What is it to dispose of something? You throw it away. You throw it anywhere. It all depends. If you don't want it found, or if you want it found. If you want it found, it doesn't matter, you just leave it there. If you don't want it found, you could take it somewhere. You could bury it. You could put it in a big drum. You could put it in the trunk of a car and have it crushed. You leave it in town, you can put it on a park bench. I mean, you can put it anywhere you want. They found a few people sitting on park benches, I'm sure. As a matter of fact, I know they have.
Are there any murders that you committed that haunt you, that you just sort of, you feel
Nothing haunts me. No murders haunt me. Nothing. I don't think about it. That's why it's hard for me to tell you. In order for me to be able to tell you when something happened, I'd have to think about when. If I think about it, it would wind up hurting me. So I don't think about it. If I had a choice, and of course you has already said to me we all have choices. Maybe we do. At the time I didn't seem to have one. But if I could, I would like to be different than what I am. I would have liked to have been different than what I was, yes. It would be better. It would have been better for me. I would have liked to have had a better outlook on life. I can't change yesterday.
Richard Kuklinski was born April 11, 1935, in a low-income public housing project in Jersey City. His father was a brakeman for the railroad, and his mother worked in a meat packing plant.
I didn't like my father, because he would beat me just because he felt like it. To get my attention, I guess. He would think nothing of coming in and smacking you. You know, basically. He'd just come in and give you a whooping for no reason whatsoever. And my mother was cancer. She would destroy everybody. She thought I took too long to do something. She didn't hesitate to give me a swat here and there. And she didn't just use her hand. She would hit me with a broomstick or something like that. It hurt. As a matter of fact, she broke the broom on me more than once.
Richard's mother believed that harsh discipline at home should go hand in hand with a rigid religious education.
I was raised Catholic. She was strict as far as the religion goes. I went to...
Your mother?
My mother, yeah. My mother, we went to Catholic grammar school. And we were raised with the Catholic belief. I was even an altar boy. But during the course of my life, I don't really believe it. It's just the way it happened. Didn't mean it to happen that way, but it just happened that way.
When his father abandoned the family, Richard, a skinny, timid young teenager, was left to fend for himself. He was an easy target for street gangs, but by the time he was 16, things began to change.
When I was a young man, I found out that if you hurt somebody, they'll leave you alone. Good guys do finish last. When I tried to leave everybody alone, just do my own thing, everybody just wanted to hurt me. Until one day I just decided, well, I've had enough of this picking. And I went upstairs and I took a bar, which the clothes used to hang on in the stairs. And there were like 6 young men. Still, we went to war. To their surprise, I was no longer taking the beating. I was giving it. And that's when I learned that it was better to give than to receive. I've been known to hurt people for no reason. If you check out my background as I came up, I could be anywhere and if somebody humiliated me, I would think nothing of hitting them with a cue stick. In an instant. And the only thing they might have done was made me feel bad or challenge my authority at the time.
Kuklinski's reputation as a tough guy with a hair-trigger temper grew. By the time he was 18, the abused had become the abuser. It wasn't long before he committed his first murder.
I got into a fight in a bar. We got into an argument to fight. And I hit him with a cue stick. A few too many times. And he died.
How'd you feel after when you found out that you died?
I felt very bad. Very, very bad. I was upset. I didn't mean to do it, actually. But surprisingly, I felt sadness, and after a while, I felt something else. I didn't feel sad. I was sad along with some sort of a rush that I had control, and if you mess with me, I guess if you mess with me, I'll hurt you.
By the time he'd reached his 20s, Kuklinski had become a petty crook and pool hustler. Then his life changed. In 1960, he met a pretty 19-year-old girl named Barbara Pedrin.
He was absolutely flowers at the door every day, and considerate and romantic, and all of the things that anybody could hope for, dream for. He bought me beautiful things. We went fun places. He was happiest when we were together. He was happiest when just he and I were together.
He and Barbara had 3 children. But with just an 8th grade education, he could only get low-paying jobs that didn't pay enough to support his growing family.
I didn't have the capability of getting a better paying job. Was I going to push a yarn truck the rest of my life? Make a menial amount of money? I couldn't have afforded 1 child, let alone 3.
He went to work at a film lab, where he began.
Hey, baby. Hey, what's up?
Before work, I'm getting ready to go. I didn't get anything here. They're too slammed. You want to go and get something to eat at McDonald's or somewhere else with me or something?
Yeah, sure, baby.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm playing games. I'm on YouTube right now.
Okay. Well, have fun.
Okay.
Okay, bye.
To outside sources connected to the Gambino crime family. This connection led to other criminal activities, and it wasn't long before he went from being a small-time hood to a big-time killer. He worked as a hitman and associated with a gang that worked out of the notorious Gemini Lounge in Brooklyn. Above the lounge was a mafia killing factory, where victims were killed and dismembered. Hacked bodies were packaged in plastic bags and carted away. Kuklinski was the perfect enforcer. He was brutal, and he knew how to intimidate. If people owed money, they either paid up or paid with their lives.
Most people paid their bills. Some didn't. I remember one guy, he was owed a lot of money. Well, I guess considered a little amount of money. He hid me. He thought he could hide behind a door. It was a nice door, expensive door. Anyway, most people don't realize that when you come to answer a door, if there's light in the background, the person on the outside can look through the peephole and see the guy coming to the door. So he came to the door, I asked who it was, and he looked through the peephole. He never saw what hit him.
For Richard Kuklinski, murder had become a way of life, and the macabre became the commonplace.
Would you ever use a chainsaw?
To cut someone up?